state. And as my husband spoke yesterday, watching this he was a young man, and he was, I don't know, he just was so alive and so smart, and he became a head, I don't know, the president or whatever, the head of El Salvador, and he brought it to peace. He brought the most criminalized, dangerous country into peace. And when Tucker asked him, he told them, he said, you want to hear the narrative from the news? And that was, they had to arrest all the criminals and do this and that. He said, but you want to hear how it really got healed? Tucker said, yeah. He said, prayer. I never heard the head of government talk about the power of prayer. And I have found in the years I've been on this planet Earth, raised as a Christian and believing so much in prayer and believing in Jesus so much. I remember I must have been maybe 4 years old, and I didn't know it was an altar, but I think it was an altar, and there was a window in the middle of America, and I had all these pictures. My mother used to ask all her friends, Christmas cards, there was always Jesus and Mary and the whole gang on the front just wishing you a blessed Christmas and all that. And so all of her friends gave me Christmas cards, old Christmas cards that they had received. And I remember I had so many, I cut them, the back part, and I had Jesus and Mary, and everybody, all the angels, just all over this table I had in front of my window. And I think, it's kind of hard to remember back then, but I know I talked to Jesus, and I talked to Mary, and I talked to the angels, and I think I had real conversations with them until my parents, they never stopped me, but they thought I was weird. They never said, you think she's weird? They were thinking it, because I couldn't talk very well at all. No one could understand anything that I said. And so they took me to somebody. I think, in 1947, they weren't all the kind of people you send your kids to now, all the therapy and all the meds and all that stuff, all the diagnosis, ADD, ADHD, spectrum, it goes on and on and on. They didn't have all that, which I'm really glad. They had no pharmaceuticals either. But they said I was just a slow learner. And basically, not to worry, that I'd be okay. And so they let me alone. I think many of you have familiar stories. Perhaps you hated school. Didn't make any sense to you. Or you went through school a long time, and then you say, that's not it either. And you might have climbed this corporate ladder or this chapter of your life. Everyone went through something, otherwise you wouldn't be sitting here. You went through pain. You went through challenge. You went through knowing this is not it, and I've got to find what it is. And then someone said, why don't you try yoga? Why don't you try meditation? And then whatever country you were in or whatever time, you sought it out. And maybe some of you have been doing it a long time, and maybe for some of you it's your first class. But I remember for myself, when I was 19, I said, if I cannot find why I'm on this earth and what I'm supposed to do, I'm not going to stay here. I never attempted suicide, but I contemplated not being here. And there was one time when I look back, such sadness and such contempt for self, failure, blah, 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 that I went up into my little teeny bedroom in Illinois, in the country, in the farmland, and I put a chair, and I faced the wall. It was a corner of the wall. It was a little seat in the middle place. And I said, I'm not going to move until I can find out why I'm on this earth. And I don't know how long, I don't know how many days, but I think I became pretty catatonic. I didn't know I was at that time, I didn't even know that word. But my parents were very worried about me. Here this 19-year-old girl had flunked out of college because I never went to classes. I didn't know there were classes. I wasn't interested in classes. I didn't even know I was there. It's because you're supposed to go. And I had saved up $1,300. That's how much it cost to go to the University of Illinois. And I earned it from cleaning brushes and at the beauty parlor, at the local beauty parlor lady. Every afternoon I'd go and clean these stupid brushes. But I saved every penny. I didn't buy anything. I just had to save this money because I had to go to college. Because my parents had never gone. My father had gone only through 4th grade, and my mother was from Sicily, and they wanted their kids to go to, have a better life, go to college. That's what everyone says, have a better life, go to college. But the stupidest thing you can tell your kid, why go to college? Why not just take a leap year and just get on a plane or go work on a barge or work in a kitchen, do something real, and God will lead you to what you're supposed to do. But at that time, of course, there was no choice. You either were successful by going to college, or you were a real loser if you didn't go to college. So no one had a choice then. So I went, and I flunked out. And then, of course, my self-esteem went up. So I said, I'm just going to sit in this corner. And my parents were worried about me. And I think they brought me food. But I said, I'm not going to move until I know why I should be on this earth. I don't remember exactly when I got up. I don't remember how long it was. But then what happened is I knew there was a theater school in Illinois, in Chicago. Goodman Theater School of Drama of the Art Institute of Chicago. And even though I flunked out of University of Illinois, I thought, maybe they'll take me because I can act really good. And because I had no idea of my identity, who I was, I could be anybody. I could jump into anybody's shoes, which is kind of dangerous in a sense, but in a way it was good. I had a full scholarship. And I spent 2 years having the most glorious time in, it was the basement of the Art Institute of Chicago, right on Washington, right at Lake Michigan. And we go down these stairs sometimes 7 o'clock in the morning for a body movement, and it wouldn't come out till 2 a.m. after a theater production. But I was with community. I was with people that were as crazy as I was, with no identity of who we were, because we were always jumping into every role, different costumes, and it was a fun. It was really a fun, even though I had no idea who I was still. And then after the 2 years I was there, I needed to do something else, and I said, I'll go to California, because that's where Gidget went, and that's where everybody who's anybody goes to California. So somehow I got there, I hitchhiked or something like that, and it was the dawning of the age of Aquarius, where all the hippies were. And I didn't know I was going to be a hippie. I don't think anyone did. They just had that drive and that pull. I gotta go to California, gotta go to California. No matter where they were from, they were hitchhiking, they were taking VW buses, anything they could do to get to San Francisco. And we got there and we had a marvelous time. And we were introduced to many things we didn't even know existed. Dancing all night and doing everything opposite of what society told us to do and what our parents told us to do. Everybody had dropped out of college because already they were getting it. It was just stupid. And we got there and we had community. And it was really marvelous. We shared food together, we danced Of course, we took a lot of LSD. We saw God, 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 God in nature. We hugged trees. We did all that stuff you ever read that hippies did. We did it. And it was marvelous. And life went on. And then I took my first Kundalini yoga class in 1970. And I took it in Tucson, Arizona. And I cried and I cried and I cried. And I remembered back when I sat at that corner in my little room when I was 19, saying I'm not going to move until I know what I'm doing, why I'm here on this earth. And I took my first class when I was 26. And that's why I cried, because I said, now I know. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I knew I'd come into consciousness and I would be told what to do. So if any of you have any kind of adventures, maybe not quite similar, but I know many of you know what I'm talking about. Some call it a portal, some call it coming into consciousness, someone saying open your third eye point. Whatever it is, having that experience of wanting to come home to you. And then finding like-minded brothers and sisters who had had the same experience and were attracting together like tribes. And I think over the last 54 years, I've watched the world change, really. Because when I started, there wasn't really yoga. People didn't know the difference between yoga and yogurt. It was the same to them. No one knew the ways that you all know now. And I feel we've come a long, long way as a human race. But now this is the biggest point. Because you know that book called Damien by Herman Hesse. If any of you read Steppenwolf or Damien or Siddhartha, those were like our Bibles way back then by Herman Hesse. And there was one line in there, and I never forgot that line. There's those that know, and there's those that don't know. You know, everyone in this room knows. You may know this much, you may know this much, but you know something that if you walk out on that street that others don't know. And it can be a simple word, consciousness. You are awakening. Most people don't even know what that even means. What do you mean awakening? But you know, you wouldn't be here otherwise. So you must help others to become awakened. That's your duty. You can't just hold it for yourself and not share it. And a good way for us is to become a Kundalini Yoga teacher so you can walk out and help others if they need it, if they want it, if they ask for it. Or other kinds of yoga teachers or spiritual leaders in some sort that can help other people and help give them tools in a way just like you were given to why you're sitting here right now. So that's why we keep traveling. I'm going on 82 and my husband is, I think, 73. I can't keep track of how old he is. But it doesn't really matter. We've been married 41 years and it's a funny joke because he always keeps saying, we're not going to travel so much. We can't travel so much. We can't keep going on and off these airplanes. And I say, okay. And then someone asks us, we're going to this place or we're going to that place. And then we can't keep traveling. And there we go. Because we get invites. We only go if people invite us. Someone invited us to Cyprus, to Brazil. We haven't gone to those places yet. But it's like, if there's a group, we'll go and we'll be with them and see how much we can serve and help. And that's the beauty of being a yoga teacher, of just sitting there. Because more and more people, more and more tribes all over the world are can do it, and then they're on the road to consciousness. It's, to me, yoga and meditation is the way we'll bring peace and prayer to the world, because there's no separation. I mean, you can separate and say, well, I'm a Bikram, or I'm a this. You can do that, but really yoga means union, and union is oneness. There's nothing else that has that oneness. I'm a Catholic, I'm a Russian, I'm a Jew, everyone separates that. I'm a male, I'm a female, I'm a female male, I'm all of this. Separate. Yoga can't separate. And I think it is the tool for the future of all humanity. That once you close your eyes and you have that experience at your third eye point and feel the oneness and feel the clarity of your life, everything changes. And I watch hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people cross over. We had an international yoga festival in Rishikesh, India. We had 1,500 people there, and you just watch the union of it all. It's an amazing time, and I pray to the gods I can stay alive for at least 20 more years, maybe 25, so that I can be part of this big exclamation mark time, because it's pretty exciting. We can go either way, but with your prayers and your intentions and your commitment to help others, first of all, you'll heal yourself, and secondly, you'll help heal the world. And we're in this together, and it's called life. So let's all do the best we can, okay? Shall we bring our hands together and thank you so much this morning.